Welcome home, Bitcoin Truth Seekers. It is Monday, August 21st. It's 4:03 p.m. here in the Arizona desert. As always, BitcoinDailyView.com got more for you there. All right, looking at FinViz, something very interesting today. They added the Russell 2000, and I think that's cool because really it's a faster indicator than the S&P 500 and oftentimes gives you an idea of where the market's going to go. So today the Dow closed just in the red at about 0.11. NASDAQ up 1.56%, S&P 500 up 0.69%, Russell 2000 down 0.15%. I'm sorry, 0.15%. So looking at the S&P 500, how did it close? NVIDIA up 8%, Microsoft, Apple, Amazon, Tesla, Meta. Looks like technology did pretty darn good. Adobe is up, so good day. I mean, we'll see how we roll tomorrow. We'll take a look at it again and see. But technology and kind of healthcare and biotech pushing it up. Russell 2000 didn't quite hold. It's interesting. It tends to, like I say, be a quicker indicator than the S&P 500. So S&P 500 did trail off a little bit towards the end of the day. So maybe we'll see what happens tomorrow. How it's going to open. Definitely a good run today for the NASDAQ and the S&P. They worked pretty well down Russell 2000. They just did not quite pull it off. Looking at Bitcoin trading volume last 24 hours, 3.2 billion, not bad, up 7.5% last 24 hours. Looking at longs versus shorts, how they're doing, really people have been playing their cards a little bit close to their chest. And ever since we had the big dump over the between the 16th and especially on the 17th there, I just think that leverage traders I'm not seeing big longs and shorts getting wrecked. So definitely leverage traders, goodness, are keeping their cards close to their chests. So it splits right now, longs versus shorts on Binance, 69% long, 30% short. So definitely a long bias. Looking at the volume on the last 7 days, definitely we're beginning to gently cruise back up. It's a nice organic cruise up there. Top 20 exchanges are mostly positive as far as volume. Looking at Bitcoin, the top 100, you can see that Bitcoin's coming in at 26,142. Most of the top 100 are in the red, but Roll Bitcoin, RLB, I've heard of that before. Roll Bitcoin is up 15%, so that's kind of exciting. We'll take a look at fan tokens before we hop out of here from Blockchain Education. You'll see a link to them in the description and over at bitcoindaily.com. Robert there hooked us up with some fan tokens. They tend to run as a group when they run, so we'll rock through some of those real quick and give you a little heads up there. If Bitcoin can stay sideways, those might be an interesting play. They're already getting kind of sparky. Bitcoin versus Tether on a daily chart. You can see that we have, in general, been in, it's debatable. We do have a bit of an upwards channel going. And of course, if that is the case, then we lost it. And you can see we lost it with a BART pattern, boom, 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 right back where we started. And we're on the 382 fib level. Definitely we can see some previous resistance, ultimately previous support and resistance. It has played a role. It is a sticky spot. We're below the 200 moving average here on the daily. And so is 382 going to be a bounce spot? We'll see. The 314 moving average is right there around the top 5 at around 23,647. So we'll see what happens. Unpredictable moment, really. What can I tell you? It's a little bit risky. I mean, this is not the hottest chart in the world. Let's look at the daily chart real quick. I should have my MACD. Did it? Darn it. I was hoping the MACD would be there. Look at indicators real quick here. Can I get just a standard MACD? I just want MACD. There we go. The old school one. Perfect. So I'll save this indicator. So on the daily chart, you can see that the MACD is, very, very negative. We need definitely the tangent to turn up before I, kind of feel positive about the MACD. This is definitely a very dumpy MACD on the daily chart. Let's look at the 2-hour chart for the MACD also. 2-hour chart is recovering. It tends to be a nice quick indicator and tends to, I find, show sort of where the attitude of Bitcoin is. So I definitely think there's more of a chance looking at this of a turnaround really than a continued dump on the Bitcoin. So maybe we'll see this daily tangent turn up soon. And if we do, I'll definitely take that as a positive sign. But right now on the daily, Bitcoin has lost to 314 moving average. Actually, that's not 314. That is a 140 simple moving average. That's one to watch. It's one that blockchain education figured out recently, where you can see that somebody out there, the big money, is playing the 140 simple moving average. You can see how sticky it is. It definitely comes into play. It's a little bit quicker than the 200, so it's a good thing to watch. It's a good thing to back the 200 up with. But we've lost the the 140 and the 200, so we really need to watch for a confirmed uptrend, because who knows what's going to happen. But of course, Bitcoin is kind of following a bit of a Bart Simpson-y sort of gradual way up, so it would make sense that maybe we'll continue. I would like to see, still, if you look at this chart, you do kind of have a low down here, you have a higher low, and you have a higher low. And if you want to be a little creative and optimistic, you kind of have another higher low, although we sort of lost that higher high, but this is just barely a higher high if you look at it. So, maybe we'll get that nice continuation like that. We'll see what happens. Let's look at this way, and with a 4-hour chart, let's check out Bitcoin, see what it's doing here. And once again, sorry about that. Once again, you can really see that that Bart Simpson pattern there. That was pretty devastating. Longs wrecked, shorts wrecked. So that's kind of how it goes. Anyways, Bitcoin is basically finding horizontal array. It's finding, it didn't quite yet. It went right down to a previous, bounce point. Beware, could certainly do that again at a lower one. So anyway, it's just kind of a low energy chart right now. Bitcoin is just not really a chart that I want to get involved in right now. Looking at it's 4-hour squeeze indicator, it's beginning to turn up. Directional index is slowly wandering towards a positive. Any big volume recently? Starting to get some volume, but that was when it was dumping. So on the 4-hour chart, I'm kind of watching for some volume to fire back up. The directional index is in the right spot. The squeeze indicator is rolling over. Most likely, eventually, it's going to kind of go sideways for a while and probably just complete this Bart Simpson pattern. And it's all about whether it can make it back over that 200 moving average on the 4-hour chart for me to really kind of feel, bullish about it again. Looking at the 45-minute chart for very, very immediate price action, as we can see, nothing too exciting really. Bitcoin is absolutely sideways right now after that big dump, and the indicators are not really that incredibly strong. The squeeze indicator is beginning to turn positive. Directional index is positive. ADX is tangenting up, and we'll just see how it goes. Really, until we got some good indicators and broke above that 45-minute 200 and 314 and started moving up with some nice, powerful looking indicators, it's just not a very exciting chart. So with that said, let's look at other things. Some fan tokens. This is from Robert over at Blockchain Education. You can see that when they start moving, they start moving. So RIF, okay, RIF versus USDT, nice downwards channel. Just made kind of a nice bounce off the bottom, and now it's moving up. So we're getting some nice indicators. Definitely, I'm not quite ready to get into this one, but definitely RIF versus Tether is one to put on your watch list. There's another one, Porto versus USDT. How's that one looking? Yeah, 4-hour chart here. This is kind of nice. It definitely dumped with Bitcoin. Let's make a nice recovery, challenging that 314 moving average. That's what it is, right? Yep, 314. It's challenging that. It's going to challenge that 200 probably. Already has worked over it. Nice, strong looking indicators. Nice volume coming in on this 4-hour chart. So this is definitely one to watch. It's all about, how's the 45-minute chart look? Oh yeah, 45-minute chart, green super guppy or Madrid ribbon indicators, the green as moving averages. You got current moving average has been crossed. 15 is just right now being crossed, and you've got these nice candles by Sam, bump, bump, bump. Kind of a series like here are, like here's 3, bump, bump, bump. Here's 3, bump, bump, bump. The 314 indicators are just starting to get moving. Nice volume recently. It's a 45-minute chart. It's kind of an exciting play. If I wanted to get a little bit crazy right now, I would maybe even try this one out. And I would do something like this. I would do a long position. I put my stop loss at 200 and figure, at your own risk there for your, maybe right about here. Maybe I'd get a little Sparky and go for it. Like I'll just go and play out the, the previous high there. Or maybe you could even be a little bit more conservative and go here. That's like 8%. So 8.6 a year. Like, what if you went about like played it safe right around like, well, I'm being a moron. It's all about, it's a little risky, but you'd have to put your stop. So this is basically profit of ratio, like risk rewards. Anyway, sorry, being a little bit silly right now. What am I thinking? There's the price action. That now it makes sense. Sorry about that. You see what you think of it. It's Porto versus Tether. It's starting to move. I put my stop down here at the 200 moving average. It's either going to keep moving or not. All about how far it can go. It's a 45-minute chart. Let's look at a 4-hour chart on this one. A bit more clarity. Yeah, I mean, there's no reason it couldn't get back to this previous level, and that'd be like 6%. But of course, it's probably going to find resistance on the 200 on this 4-hour chart. So anyway, this is one to watch. It's not quite exciting enough for me right now, but definitely it could be a player. I will honestly, even though I might miss a little bit of action, I'll probably check on these tomorrow more than trade them tonight. Lazio, Lazio, USDT. Boom. How's this one looking? Yeah, on the 4-hour chart, this one's getting a little sparky, a lot of volatility. Nice indicators are rolling in. It's still above the 314. It's still below the 314 and the 200 on the 4-hour chart. But definitely we're seeing a little bit of action. Looking at a 45-minute chart, how we looking? And once again, broke to 200. It's working on the 314 again. Indicators are slowly cruising up. If we look at this one, I kind of like the fact that it has this nice kind of upwards channel that it's working. Just challenge the bottom there. Definitely. I mean, if one wanted to get tight, you could put that stop right around the 200 moving average, and just see if it can get back to that previous high. If it did, that would be, let's see, forecast. Oh, sorry, my mouse is freaking out. There we go. If that actually moved up, where did it move up to? That's like 3%. But if it starts running, you can watch your indicators and see what you think. But Lazio is looking good, and Alpine. Let's look at Alpine. Well, Alpine is beautiful. Look at that. 45-minute chart is gold. 4-hour chart. Now this is what we're talking about. And this is actually kind of a little secret. W's tend to equal win. So this one is working on a beautiful W pattern. And this is a 4-hour chart. It's moving up. Squeeze indicators moving up. Directional index looks good. Volume's coming in. Did a W. It's moving. It's about the 200 and 314. This thing is in rocket ship to Pluto land. Let's look at the 45-minute chart. How are we looking there? Beautiful. You've got your all the perfect things. You've got like your sort of lower, you got your higher lows rolling in, I like what I'm seeing there. This is moving up. Squeeze indicator is looking great. Directional index is looking great. Volume's looking good. You know, would have liked to have caught it earlier. This is going to be a tough one to play right now. I'm going to watch this guy myself for kind of a retrace because I'm just not sure where I'd put my stop right now. So I might even miss out on this one, but I'm going to just watch it. This thing has moved pretty hard. So I'm going to let this one just kind of simmer. No trades I quite want to get into tonight. Let's look at other things that are kind of fun. Oh, what was that one coin that was doing really well? Rollbit, RLB was looking good. RLB, USDT. RLB, USDT. Oh, you can only play it on weird ass exchanges, but you can play it on Bybit, Poloniex, Uniswap. It's a weird one. Bybit. We'll look at Spot. This is RTLM. Did I not do that one right? Who cares? What was that one again? RLB. All right. Try that one more time. RLB USDT. Okay, nah, forget it. It's. I mean, I'll look here on Bybit. No, I just don't see it. I mean, I see it, but you guys don't want to Poloniex it or Uniswap it. It's a pain in the ass. Let's look at Doge real quick. Always fun. How's Doge doing? It's kind of a fan token. It's dark little Doge came down and play. Doge is for our 45-minute chart. Let's go to 4-hour chart. Yeah, Doge ain't doing nothing. How about SHIB? SHIB is done for at the moment. Anyway, so there you go. There's some interesting coins. Sorry if this is a little bit low energy. It's just it's nice to see Bitcoin, find this nice sideways pattern here. You can see on the 45-minute chart, it dumped, longs wrecked. It's finding nice sideways. Indicators are slowly starting to build back up on the 45-minute chart. I like what I'm seeing on the 4-hour chart. That's not looking too bad. Actually, let's look at where we are on. Let me go to this chart here. Let me nix these, at least this moving average here. Leave the 200. And let's go way back here on the daily. In fact, we could even do like a 3-day. Okay, there we go. We'll go way back to this low that we had March of 2020. We've had some crazy times here. And where are we at? This is the thing that kind of concerns me a little bit. This is pulling in a lot of time, and definitely this fib sequence is very, very sticky in this time frame here. And it makes sense that it would be. But we lost the 618 average. I'm sorry, the 618 Fibonacci, and then we're below the 0.65, which would be the bottom of the golden pocket. That's the golden pocket right there between the 618 and the 650. As you can see, Bitcoin has struggled with it before, and we got above it, got below it, now we're above it, then we got below it. We also lost the 200 moving average, so that's kind of like on the daily. As you can see, when you make those crosses of the 200 on the daily here, like here, we crossed above. Beautiful, beautiful time. We rode it for a while. We lost it. It has not been too sweet ever since then. Recently, we did get above, but of course, now we are below. And, thought I just would, point that out. And, and of course, it was here on the daily, actually 3-day. You can definitely see there was there's your big money. There's your BART pattern, boom. So they blessed us a little bit, got people excited, and then boom, that liquidity is now theirs. So anyways, there we go. I really am kind of watching on the daily to see if we can perk up with that MACD and get rolling again. Anyways, I'm trading more now, and I will be hopping on here and showing you trades that I've got open that are doing well. Some didn't do so well. Some that I'm watching for setups. We'll see how it goes. But really, beware of Bitcoin. I want to be optimistic because it's just my nature. But like looking at this, I want to see where's my parallel channel. Like looking parallel channel. I mean, this 3-day chart does show you a lot of time. And we have lost that upwards channel and the 200 moving average and the 618 golden pocket on the daily. I mean, just blah, let's see what happens. The world's going crazy. And one thing we did not look at, and I guess I'm kind of amiss here. Let me actually really quickly, we'll blast through it. DXY. DXY. Let me find an hourly chart here. Boom. Something nice and boring. Let me fire this up like this. And we'll probably remember all of my other stuff that I had in here. Yeah, there we go. So as you can see, the DXY had a bit of a sideways day today, but it is holding that 200 moving average. So DXY holding. S&P 500, you can see it kind of clearly here. Definitely had a green day. I believe here FinViz showed it as, yeah, as closing in the green. Gold in the daily had a slightly green candle, still at the 200 moving average, getting crushed by that pump in DXY. Silver, bit of a run today. It's challenging that 200 moving average, as you can see. It's all about can it break above that and start moving. It looks like gold and silver might be getting a little bit perky. We'll have to just watch and see. One other thing that I will actually look at here that tends to be a good indicator is U.S. oil spot. How is that looking? Yeah, it's been cruising up with the dollar strength index, cooled off a little bit, and now it's moving again. So, if you've noticed that your gas is getting a little bit pricey recently, this is probably why the dollar, spot price on oil is definitely moving up. Lost its channel, but I think it's starting to kind of turn back up a little bit there. DXY definitely holding that upwards channel. So, with that said, I'll just wrap it up with an interesting, a little bit of world news here. Is RT, but we're going to look at FT also. RT kind of summarized an article from FT, Financial Times. So U.S. demands Ukraine be less risk averse, and actually, I did look over the Financial Times, and everything that RT was talking about is here in this article. I thought I'd mention this article. It's Ukraine grows doubtful. Ukraine counteroffensive. No, sorry. U.S. grows doubtful. Ukraine counteroffensive can quickly succeed. I'll put it in the live in the put it in the live chat if you are interested. It will be there. I'll stick it right there right now. Why I find this an interesting article is just that. So to sum it up really quickly, different think tanks were working on the war before it started, and it was very clear that the Ukrainian military and the ethno-national battalions and stuff like that did not have a chance against the Russians even from the start. But the idea was that they figured if they weaponed them up enough, they could get past them, the Russians, and maybe at least put on a good show. So anyway, this article is interesting, and as you read through it and look at it, they even talk about like we're doing everything we can to support the counteroffensive, but since their troops are getting just annihilated, they become risk averse now, and they're not trying hard enough for the West. I'm trying to think of the one think tank that was mentioned in here that really did kind of plot all this out beforehand. But when you read this, it's actually very, very sad because the planners, on like the Western side of this, the NATO and other people like the typical people who were involved in the 2004, Balkan mess, the Maidan, as they call it. Watch the documentary Ukraine on Fire. You learn about it. All the players that have been involved for quite a while, were wargaming this out, and they knew that the Ukrainian troops never had a chance. But they thought, like I say, if they weaponed them up enough, even though they were like running into their death, basically, that they could win via like the sanctions and such. So it was kind of a multi, multi-pronged attack, you could say. But it basically failed. They knew it was never going to work. At least for the troops, it was never going to work. And so, in a sense, unfortunately, you got like 400,000 dead Ukrainians, about 40,000 dead Russians, and it's very unfortunate that when you read this, and as this is coming out, that the planners on the western side of this knew that the Ukraine military was screwed. So anyway, sorry, 400,000 people that are dead, but those who sent you to your death knew you were going to die. And that's how it rolls. Be careful about letting your government get too evil. So take care, and I will see you guys again tomorrow.